Hi everyone. So it's time for today's connections game. I know you have seen the thumbnail, so you would know what the words of today are. But I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to show you the 16 words. They need to be put in four categories of four words. Pause this video and give it your best shot. Watch till the end of this video. At the end, I will reveal the four groups. Let's start with today's puzzle. So the first word is belt. And belt is a word that has both a verb and a noun. As its simplest form, belt as in, the thing that you put under your pants, that's your belt that keeps your pants on. That's a belt. But also the same belt can be assembly belt, where you put, things like a car in an assembly belt. You put things on a car to be assembled together. That's also a belt. Belt is kind of a road. So, in Washington, D.C., you use that belt as the road that contains the area. So that's belt. What's the noun belt? So the verb belt, it means to, belted, as in hitting, striking. That's also belting it out, and you know, to strike somebody. And it kind of reminds me of the word bolt, and bolt, like a bolt of lightning, which is, the bolt of lightning. But to bolt is, when you go really fast, that's to bolt. So bolted out. So let's not confuse bolt and belt. Belt means to belt means to hit somebody, to strike somebody, to belt it out. That's belt. The word clock, it's interesting because in its simplest form, clock means, the thing that tells time, right? That's clock. And so usually clock is the thing with the face. You don't call, I mean, it could be a digital clock, but you usually don't use the word clock there. And so, but what's interesting about the word clock is that when it's the verb, to clock something, one meaning of that is that did you clock it, as in did you track it, as in did you monitor it? That's to clock. But also clock in this here, the word wallop, hit, strike, it also means clocking somebody, like really like just hitting them. This guy clocked me, as in they hit me, struck me. So that's the word clock, which is quite interesting. So there is the verb clock, which means hitting and striking, and then there's the noun clock, which means, the time device or somewhere to monitor something. Then the next word is deck. Now the simplest word, again, deck is the word that has meanings of noun and verb. Deck is like your balcony, your terrace is a deck. Go in the deck, like open the door and go in the deck. That's one word for deck. But deck also is kind of like a set, like a deck of cards. That means a set of cards. And then there is a kind of an expression to be decked out, which means to kind of be like be smartly dressed. That's also deck. Also, the furniture, it could be it's on my deck, which means like it's on the it's on the set like the set and stuff. But then the verb deck, it means to hit somebody, to strike. He decked me, as in he hit me really hard. He struck me. So that's deck. As I said, the verb decked out means to be smartly dressed, but to deck means to hit somebody, to strike them really hard. And it's usually in a fight, you deck somebody. Then the next word, the last word we have is slug. Now, slug As a noun, usually is these kind of a animals that go really slowly, which is that's why the word sluggish comes in, which means extremely slow. That's how is the progress. It's very sluggish. That means that it's going very slowly. So that's slug. But also it's like, oh, what is he doing? He's just like a slug. It's just like sits there. It's just lazy and like has no life. It's like a slug. So that's another word for slug. Then it also, you can use a slug as for a bullet. That's a bullet. It's a slug. That's also slug. And the verb to slug somebody is again to hit them really hard, to strike them. So that, he slugged me. They slugged him really badly. So that's slug. So the four words that we had were belt, clock, deck, and slug, all for walloping, for hitting somebody, for striking them really hard. Okay, so the four groups of words are arrow, bow, quiver, and target are archery equipment. Now, arrow and bow and target are simple, but you know, quiver is actually also to quiver, to shake. That's to quiver. But in here is an archery equipment. Then bridge, gin, spit, and war are card games. Again, this is connections. It's with weird things that it has. And then fourth group is anchor, dragon, heart, and rose are all classic tattoos. Okay, have a good day. See you tomorrow.